Hello and welcome to Real Talk, a segment brought to you by the Scott County Public Library. I'm your host, Professor Lincoln, here to showcase some new films that we have and talk about some older movies you may have missed. Today I have two movies that are very different things to say about giant monsters and those lurking creatures in the darkness of the waters. We are here in homeroom for Advanced Zoology 204 on Real Talk Summer School, and class is now in session. First up, we'll be heading to the land of the rising sun to talk about a fresh new take on an old movie monster from 2016's Shin Godzilla, directed by Hideki Anno and Shinji Higuchi. Shin Godzilla is in essence a reboot of a colossal Japanese franchise, bypassing the original film by making this the first time Japan and anyone in the world really has seen Godzilla before. Shin Godzilla is in essence a reboot of the colossal Japanese franchise, bypassing the original film by marking it as the first time Japan or anyone in the world really has seen Godzilla before. In this new version, it's present day when the world must deal with an emerging new threat of Godzilla, an extinct creature that is fed off of nuclear waste dumped by America. The movie is a deeply political message of the sins of man and the failures to control nature. It is simultaneously a cutting satire on government bureaucracy, a work-through of the ghost of Hiroshima, Fukushima, and various natural disasters, and a great and creepy monster movie overall. As a longtime fan of Godzilla, I like the traditional protector of Earth just as much as anyone, but I also will always prefer the vengeful god of Godzilla. And in Shin Godzilla, Higuchi and Anno both share that like-mindedness that I have. Higuchi even went as far to talk about why he believes Godzilla isn't a hero, stating in a Fangoria column from way back in 2000 comparing Godzilla to another monster movie that is famous in Japan, Gamera. He says that Gamera is the hero. Godzilla is not. Godzilla was born of a nuclear force and is like that of a ghost. He is darker than Gamera and is in true form the image of death. I love to see this new complex take on Godzilla while also bringing back to the roots without the baggage of all the continuity of the previous movies. He is this unknowable, immortal monster, seemingly in constant pain, mindlessly dragging himself across Japan and destroying things and paroxysms of rage. It's a great movie that I love, and it has one of my all-time favorite atomic breath scenes. And if you're a Godzilla fan, you know what I mean. Next up, we're going to head down north to the warm waters of beaches of Amity Island and Steven Spielberg's 1975 classic, Jaws. It is the movie that scared a whole entire generation from swimming in the ocean, telling the story of police chief Martin Brody in the face of a growing threat against his island home in the form of a great white out for blood. The pre-production for this film is something completely just of the stuff of legend as Steven Spielberg set out to get this film made. The script for the film went through multiple rewrites in the production, including scripts from the book's actual author, Peter Benchley, which Spielberg wasn't even a fan of. He thought he could get away with by hiring basically a shark specialist to come in and do tricks and shots for the movie, but soon he realized he would actually have to go and build a mechanical shot, which he and George Lucas, the first time they went inside of the building to test it, broke it without anybody knowing. The film started out with a budget just a little bit north of $3.5 million on a 55-day shooting schedule at Martha Vineyard, but was plagued with constant delays. When the shark, which was nicknamed Bruce, made its maiden voyage into the ocean, it unceremoniously sank. And in the second screen test, its hydraulic system actually exploded in the waters. These delays would continue with constant changes in the current of seas, supplies stolen from during the set, like generators, and multiple tourists sailing during the summer shooting schedule. The final budget for this movie ended up being north of $10 million, and shooting schedule went from 55 days to over 159 days, which is just crazy. I have two favorite particular moments out of movie just classic and full of awesome moments. One that sticks out to me is it still makes me nervous when I watch it, is when Richard Dreyfuss is investigating the ship at the bottom of the sea. When screening the scene, audience didn't actually really react the way that Steven Spielberg wanted, so they went back into the editor's house and shot the scene again in his actual swimming pool, which is the scene you've seen in the film and I think is effective and still scary to this day. My second is the USS Indianapolis story told by the great playwright and actor Robert Shaw. There are points of contention on who actually wrote this speech, but I tend to want to agree with what Spielberg says, as he says an 8-page speech was written by John Millis and then cut down to 5 pages by Robert Shaw. The first time was Shaw was so drunk when they came in, they actually had to call off the day, and he couldn't do anything. He was just so plastered that day. Then about 3 o'clock that morning, Steven Spielberg gets a call from a very apologetic Robert Shaw asking if he could come in one more time and do the shot again. And they did it again, and Shaw gave one of the most memorable speeches in film history. Overall, in the end, Jaws went home to bring on $470 million and coined the term blockbuster that is used today for films that are gigantic. All of these week's films are now available right now at the Scott County Public Library, and I encourage you to search them out and discover them for yourselves. And come to the library each week to complete your quiz. And you can always find every single episode of Real Talk on our Facebook or YouTube, and I encourage you to go to our website at Scott County Public Library to find all sorts of great other programs. This has been Professor Lincoln once again here to tell you to watch more movies.